Everyone, welcome back. This is the Manifestation Baddie YouTube channel. I am back on your screens. This is the current setup. I thought that would be the easiest thing for me to film in between my client calls, which is always exciting. Today, I want to riff on a few things, particularly, I've got my notes here, that you've been journaling, you've been affirming, you've been visualizing, but nothing has truly shifted for you. This is a conversation that I have with women all around the world on a daily basis. It's like I've been doing the work. I've been doing everything. I have been doing so many different techniques and still nothing has truly changed in my 3D world, in my reality. I still feel like the same person. And this is the thing. This is the key thing here. So many people are focused on the doing rather than the being. And before you roll your eyes and go, oh my God, embodiment, this is so freaking important. This isn't about just performing. This isn't about pretending. This isn't about just mindlessly saying things that you never believe, doing techniques that deep down your awareness is still, this is a bunch of bullshit. This isn't working. This is actually about changing self. Why? Because we know that when it comes to, if you've been in the manifestation world for any amount of time, longer than fucking a day at least, you will know that it's not about what you want. It's about who you are. So you don't get what you want. You get who you are. You get who you are being. Why? Because everything starts and ends with you. Life is happening through you. So, what are your beliefs, your habits, and what's your emotional intelligence like? That's the framework that I use in my one on one spaces. Those three areas is what I will be diving into and what we look at over an extended period of time so that you can actually normalize this and you can not only get the manifestation, but you can keep it. So many people will do the techniques and then they might get in a little bit of movement because the techniques are definitely part of your manifestation game plan, right? The techniques are important, but the techniques are your tools. You are actively using the techniques in order for you to change up here, in order for you to change your identity, in order for you to change your beliefs, your habits, and upgrade your emotional intelligence, especially the emotional intelligence piece. So many people forget this, and that's why they can't fully handle what is happening to them just in their day-to-day life. That is why circumstances feel so triggering, because they are constantly taking things personally, and they have, again, with so much love, a disempowered self-concept and a low level of emotional intelligence that they make everything mean something negative and personal about themselves. And they also make it mean that it's not working. And when it comes to this work, it is so important that you are actively doing your best to be seeing the good in everything. I was just speaking to one of my girls this morning and I was saying to her, I'm like, your challenge for the rest of the week is to dominantly be thinking positively and to lean into optimism, because her mind is still very much in the habit of thinking worst case scenario, preparing for the worst, having her expectations down on the floor. And we don't want to be doing that. We want to train ourselves to be brave enough to be thinking best case scenario. We want to train ourselves to be constantly finding the silver lining in things. And this is a thing that we will all have to continue to do, including myself, because it's so easy to fall into negativity and victim narrative just in the world that we live in. Like if you're not living under a rock, if you are consuming any type of content, everything, you are bombarded with negativity after negativity from everywhere. Social media, from mainstream TV, from conversations that you're having with people. It's just like doom and gloom all the time. So this really is about being a different person and living a different life and seeing things through a different lens than what most people do. So let's circle back to what I was originally saying regarding you've been journaling, you've been affirming, you've been visualizing, you've been doing all the techniques, but nothing has shifted. You're focusing too much on the techniques. You think the techniques are like this almighty thing, like, oh my God, amazing techniques. And you've put these techniques up on a pedestal when you need to be up there, right? You need to see yourself as I'm up here and I'm using these techniques as my tools to change my beliefs, my habits, and my emotional intelligence. So let's unpack the three things that I've just mentioned. So, your beliefs, your assumptions. We're working with the law of assumption here. It is so important that you are actively changing your beliefs. No, you don't have to believe things straight away, but the goal is to actually believe what you are saying. If you were just reciting affirmations, if you're just reciting I don't know, inner conversations. Let's just stick with affirmations. I'll make it easier for now. And you've just memorized them like it's a script. like you're some actor. Actors know, even if you're to go with method acting, you still know that you're playing a part, right? You still know. Like, even if you're a method actor, for the most part, you still live in this 3D world. So it's not like you can go out and do crime and you can do bad things. You still very much are the version of you who knows that you're an actor and you're playing a part. Okay. So I don't want you reciting things like you're learning a script, like you're learning lines. This needs to be something that is actually how you think. So repetition is important. Yes. But the level of allowing and acceptance and having intention and really accepting what you're actually saying to yourself is also important. I would rather my clients have short stints of focusing on reinforcing new beliefs than spending every single second of the day mindlessly looping. Energy, it's exhausting. Yeah. You don't need to be doing that. I'll give you a practical example. When it comes to you going to the gym, you're going to the gym for what, 45 minutes of your day, 60 minutes of your day. You're not spending the whole day exercising. Having short intentional stints are going to be so beneficial for you. So the technique is there to help you change your beliefs, help you change your assumptions, but you need to allow that process to happen. You are so powerful and you're so intelligent that if you're just like, ugh, this isn't going to work, self-fulfilling prophecy, babe, then it's not going to fucking work because your awareness is clearly not on the fact that I'm changing my beliefs and this is going to push out. It's on the fact that this is a waste of time and this isn't working. So you need to buy into this process. You need to buy into this work. You need to have this as a lifestyle change, not a means to an end. That's your beliefs. And the beliefs, I'm going to make a whole other video about it because it's so important that you're focusing on the right beliefs for you, not just finding random affirmations you found on the internet that aren't even addressing what you need to address when it comes to your core beliefs, not someone else's, you in particular. Hence why people will find random affirmations and it just becomes a waste of time because you're not targeting your beliefs, your assumptions. You're working on someone else's. The second thing, habits. What are your habits? What are the old self habits that you're continuing to do on a daily basis that you know are hindering your progress, that are sabotaging your results? Is that constantly checking social media and stalking? Is that constantly having arguments? Is that constantly being negative? Like, what are the old self habits that you need to get rid of in order to fully embody this new version of you? You need to look at that. That's very important. Again, this isn't about pretending. This isn't about mindlessly doing techniques all day long. This is intentional. This is, I need to intentionally do this so I can actively change myself and therefore I can maintain this work for the rest of my life. Because I'm sorry, this is work is forever. Like, once you know this work, you can't unlearn it. You're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. The next thing, emotional intelligence, just like I touched on just then, emotional intelligence. How are you at being able to see circumstances, situations in your 3D world and not make it mean something negative about you or not make it mean that this isn't working? Are you able to see it from put a bit of distance between you and the circumstance? Learn whatever you need to learn. Maybe we need to clean up some beliefs. Maybe we need to do some work here, right? When it comes to mental diet. But I'm not going to make this mean something negative about me and then keep myself stuck in a shame pit. Or my whole day is centered around what this person is doing, what he's saying, what he's not saying. And then I'm an anxious mess and I just feel energetically and emotionally, I feel exhausted. I feel constantly triggered. We need to work on that because if you're constantly anxious and you're constantly on edge, you won't be able to maintain this work. It'll feel exhausting and your mind wants to keep you safe. Your nervous system wants to keep you safe, right? So therefore, you'll go back to old patterns and an older version of you which is more familiar and more comfortable ultimately in the long run. You may not want to be that old version of yourself, but it feels familiar. Becoming this new version of you in your habits, in your energetics, and also in your emotional intelligence, right? Your beliefs, your habits, and your energetics may be uncomfortable at times because this is new. So it's not about just doing more techniques. This is actually about changing what is happening in here or in here, whichever resonates with you. Changing your inner world so that this gets pushed out how you actually want it to push out, the desired outcome. With that being said, I'm going to love you and leave you. I am making myself a promise that these are going to be things that I'm doing on a regular basis, YouTube videos. because I just feel like it'd be nice to be back on this platform. I've spent so much time on TikTok and we love TikTok. If you were one of my followers there, thank you so much for joining me on that journey. But this is where I started when it comes to YouTube. So it's nice to be able to come back to this. All right. Let me know in the comments what resonated, what point resonated with you. Maybe you want to put in a timestamp in the comments and I will leave them up as well. I'll leave the comments that if people put timestamps about the point that you need to come back to in this video. So I'll speak to you in the next video. If you're wanting any one-on-one support and you're wanting my eyes and my level of care on you and your circumstances, then link will be also in the video description. Is there anything else? My podcast, if you like to be able to just listen to things as you're going about things, my Manifestation Baddie podcast is available on Apple and also on Spotify. And I'll speak to you then. Toodles.